An issue that is quite often swept underneath the carpet is teenage pregnancy. Researchers have found that in the 1970s, the rate of Australian childbearing teenagers peaked at 55 babies per 1,000 women and reached its lowest rate at 18.1 per 1,000 women in 1999. This is a clear indication that the average birth rate within teenage mothers has dropped dramatically. This drop is due to the increased availability of contraception, access to abortion, and change in educational and career opportunities.
The Australian Bureau of Statistics found that in 2010 the teenage fertility rate was 16 babies per 1,000 women aged 15 to 19. This indicates that the age group of these mothers are still legally bound to be in school. However, having a baby can cause a pregnant teenager many complications that many teenagers are unaware of. These complications show notations of difference, such as being excluded from their normal school life. With this being said, it is within the school community that they modernise and accommodate for pregnant teenagers. This can be done by providing childcare facilities when the child is born, allowing the mother to continue her education. Darling Hammond quoted, "Education that gives students access to social understandings developed as they actually participate in pluralistic community, talking together, making decisions and coming to understand multiple views. This demonstrates that schools have a significant role to play in the ongoing shaping of national identities and therefore may have to accommodate so new identities can form."
Within this accommodation, schools also need to tolerate that there is diversity in their community. Murray Lewis quoted that the diversity should provide an opportunity for national community to capitalise on the uniqueness of the situation and generate a vibrant and organic identity. What we believe from Marion's quote in relation to this issue we have raised is that if school provides the necessary child-minding facilities needed for the teenager to continue their education, schools are recognising diversity within their community and with this tolerating these issues and making it clear that the national community that these issues need to be dealt with. In this next part of this video, we'll be conducting a discussion between two high school teachers and demonstrating ways of addressing teenage pregnancy within the curriculum.
It has been brought to the school's attention and my attention that the rate of teenage pregnancies have increased. So I believe that we should incorporate ways of educating this issue within our individual classrooms, and by doing this, giving the school community a greater understanding.
Yeah, I see how that would work.
So for students to have a greater understanding of this issue within the community, we can incorporate issues such as individual identity, difference, dominance and diversity in the curriculum.
I understand what you're saying because it's also been brought to my attention as well. I think my early childhood studies would give us good opportunity to implement this issue with the curriculum. I think the main grades we need to target is the year 9s and up, as the statistics have said the increase in pregnancies from 15 to 19, so the early education would be ideal for these teenagers. When teaching in the early childhood, we can teach about difference by explaining to the class about what pregnant teenagers may go through. Examples of this may include discussing what emotions and lifestyle changes these teenagers might be undertaking.
Okay, so what do you mean? How would they go about telling their parents? How well would they accept the situation?
Yes, by this we would be trying to get the students to acknowledge that the teenager will be experiencing lots of difficulties and pressures at home, such as explaining to their parents that they're pregnant and all the other stresses that might go along with that. And the school needs to recognise that these students don't need extra stress in their school environment.
So what we are trying to draw from this situation is that other classmates may treat other teenagers differently, and then in this case we have to teach them to tolerate these differences.
Yes, I think that's what our main aim is for our classrooms, so that the teenager feels welcome and not marginalised when they walk through the door. As this teenager will appear differently to the rest of the classmates, such as having a large belly, by this we can assume that the classmates have already categorised them as being different.
So I guess by teaching the students the pregnancy stages, we are giving the school community the chance to understand her identity and may allow the students opportunity to tolerate it as well. This would give the pregnant teenager a sense of self within the school community.
Yeah, I agree, because if we Don't teach our students to accept difference. The pregnant teenager may not feel comfortable to come to school and continue her education. Therefore, her peers will feel as if they've dominated her, and that's inclined to diversity.
Okay. Yes, and that can also lead her to question her sense of self and her identity, I guess.
So what you're trying to say is we need to teach about dominance as well, so that we can stop other students from marginalising pregnant teenagers.
So a way we can make students aware of this is to do a role play which consists of having a dominant group of people who are marginalising a disadvantaged group. Then each group would swap roles so they experience what it feels like to be marginalised.
I think that is a great way to overcome disadvantaged and marginalised groups within our classrooms and community, as they have experienced both identities and therefore have an understanding of what it feels like to be on both ends.
I think the role play would also help to prevent discrimination within the school community, as they have a deeper understanding of what it feels like to be different in both aspects.
Yet again, we're relating back to how we might be teaching our students about the understandings of difference and diversity, which can happen unexpectedly within their school community. I think I could also incorporate some aspects of difference and dominance in my HPE class. Since I educate students about sex education and forms of protection, I could put more emphasis on outcomes of not using protection. By this, we can eliminate differences because students are being taught how to decrease the chances of becoming pregnant.
So by this you mean by implementing prevention strategies, we can minimise the chance of teenagers becoming pregnant, because if there was less pregnant students, the notion of difference would be minimised.
Yes, so incorporating these ideas into the curriculum, such as individual identity, difference, dominance and diversity, we have addressed the issue of teenage pregnancy and as a result give our students a greater understanding of overcoming disadvantages and marginalisation of groups within the classroom and community.
And also by addressing this issue, we can assume that we can reduce discrimination in the school community and be tolerable to diversity.
Yeah, I think that's great.